Good afternoon, or morning, or evening, depending on where we are in the world currently. I have an exceptionally special guest today. It's taken a little while to get it organised, but he's managed to take some time out of his busy diary to give me 20 minutes of his wisdom and knowledge of all things Century 21. So I would like to introduce you to Mike Miedler, the CEO of Century 21. Good morning, Mike.
Andrew, thank you for having me today. It's exciting to be with you guys. It is morning here. I'm just about to actually have my coffee, but looking forward to spending some time with you.
Thank you very much. We'll try not to let it go cold if you've got it there in front of you. So, Mike, just give us a little bit of background. I've had the pleasure of spending some time in your company. We went to Rome a couple of years ago now. So where do you live? What do you do? What's your job role?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity. So, again, the name's Mike Miedler. I have been with the Century 21 organization now just over 25 years. Andrew, I joke around with people that I got started in the mailroom many years out of college. Many years ago, right out of college, this exceptional organization was hiring folks. Believe it or not, I was a criminal justice major. I thought I wanted to be a state trooper or in the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations here in the U.S. And I kind of, went away from that route a little bit after I graduated, and have been working with Century 21 here for, like I said, the better part of a bunch of decades. And it's been a really fun, interesting run. Today, I sit here and I am, believe it or not, the global CEO and president of the organization. Where, we are in 85 countries, close to 15,000 offices, and plus or minus 150,000 sales professionals around the globe, serving the needs of home buyers and sellers, and certainly folks looking to invest or rent property around the world. So it's been a fun and interesting ride. And I joke with everybody that I've kind of almost done everything there is to do inside of the organization at this point. But I think I always say this, and Andrew, you're a perfect example of it. You, Nick, and the entire leadership team there in the UK. It's really all about our people, the people inside of this network that have that vision of just being there for their clients every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. That's a fantastic ethos that we have, and we try and get into our offices. So, what are your responsibilities? So, I guess the day-to-day running of Century 21 from your perspective. How does your day start?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost is I'm setting the vision and the mission for the organization, and then in tandem with that is obviously the strategy for growth, and the strategy for growth not just of our franchise in general, meaning we're in 85 different countries. We want to be in more. I say this: we are truly the only global residential real estate brand that exists on the face of the planet, having the largest span of touch to consumers in every single market. But there are markets that we still want to be in, and so obviously I have to set strategy for growth of our franchise base, what countries we want to be in. A big part of my job is the growth here in the U.S. domestically, and growing that out through our franchise sales team. But I think most importantly is helping bring the tools, the foundation, the technology, the support, the lead generation, and honestly, the confidence and the recognition of the Century 21 brand worldwide, so that consumers recognize who we are and want to do business with us, because we've got great people and great real estate professionals to help serve their needs. So it's a lot of stuff around growth for our entrepreneurs worldwide.
So, then when you started out, you said you wanted to be somewhere in the criminal justice system, and you ended up at Century 21. What made you take that step into the brand, so to speak, even at that level?
Yeah, it's a great question. I didn't want to be in the criminal justice system, just to say, like, I didn't want to be like behind bars. I wanted to be doing good for the world and for my local community. So
Yeah.
yeah, I probably, Andrew, I don't know if they have this in the UK. There was a show back in the 90s called The X Files. It was a
Yes.
Federal
Yeah.
Bureau of Investigation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mulder and Scully, and I think I watched too many of those episodes and got really wound up with some cool, crazy stuff. But that said, I really got into real estate because of what I saw was a great way to serve my community, really more from a business perspective. I feel like real estate professionals around the globe, I find this to be true almost everywhere, is that a lot of times, obviously they're number one, they're serving the need of shelter, which is an absolute necessity for us as human beings, right? But it's oftentimes the largest financial transaction that a family or a person will make in a lifetime. It's a place where folks are gaining their most intimate memories, dinners and families and holidays, like we were just talking about a little bit here earlier. And the home is really a special place. But again, it's the largest financial transaction, and here certainly in the US and in a lot of different markets around the globe, it's the gateway to the middle class. It's a way that young people and families can start investing and gaining some equity in their home, and truly has a lot of financial value for them as well as they evolve through life. And I think it's just a really special thing to be a part of, and folks don't realize sometimes how intricate and how complex that transaction could be. And the fact that we are, as real estate professionals, helping guide and consult people through that process, we become more than just real estate experts or market knowledge experts. A lot of times we become almost like a financial consultant, a marriage counselor in some ways, when people are arguing over where they want to live or what they want out of their home. And so it's been a really interesting and fun ride from a business perspective. But I want to make this last point as well, is that real estate professionals, I believe, bar none, in my kind of experience, do more for their local communities, a lot because it's good for business, right? They're out there with the local clubs and making sure that commerce is moving along and giving back to the school systems and things of that nature. But it's not just through money. It's like they're actually going out and they're helping the community evolve and try and get better, because when their communities are getting better, it's good for obviously their product, which is that real estate in the local market.
Yeah, definitely. That's another great point. So I'm always interested to find out. When we was up in Scotland, myself and the team last week, their market runs very differently to the English market. What is it like selling a property in America? If I was a seller and I'm looking to put my house on the market, what's the process look like over there?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So if you were in the real estate industry in the US right now, you would be hearing about, and it's very interesting, Andrew, you would be hearing a lot about commission lawsuits that are happening at a very large level. If you just go into, Inman, which is one of our big trade kind of like organizations here, or organizations, magazines and networks or anything right now, you're seeing out there that real estate and the way that we do it in the US is a little bit under attack. And so, like, from a high level, we have always, as real estate professionals, worked with one another in a way that we would consider cooperating. In other words, if I were a neighbor wanted to sell a home, many real estate professionals would go to that neighbor's home and sit at their kitchen table and explain why me, Mike Miedler, or Andrew Gibbs is the best real estate professional associated with the best real estate brand to help get their property sold in the fastest fashion for the most amount of, I guess, return, right? For the highest price. And what we've always done here in the States is always collected a commission, and that commission is a percentage of what the home usually sells for. So the listing agent was very much in control of that process. And what they would do in order to open up the most amount of potential buyers, in order to get the highest price possible, is they would offer a commission to a buyer's agent who would be representing a buyer in the marketplace to come in and do that. And that very process is under attack right now. And I know, in many places in Europe and around the globe in Asia, it's not like that. That's not the way that real estate is necessarily transacted or done. And that process is literally under attack by big class action lawsuits that are happening here in the US. So it's very interesting and maybe very different than what you guys are used to from a UK perspective. Certainly, I know in France as well. But we believe that this kind of process where people are working with one another is the best for not just the selling consumer, but also the buying consumer in order to have professional representation throughout the process. Does that make sense? You're probably like, oh my God, wait a second, hold on, I got a bunch of questions. But it's an interesting time in our real estate industry right now because of that. That cooperating process, which has happened here for years since real estate has really started here in a formalized way, is
Yeah.
now a little bit under attack.
Wow, that sounds very interesting, but also
Yeah,
a bit scary for some of the agents out there. But
for
what
sure.
what sort of fees do we normally get? What's the average across the US?
So I think when you look at the average fees collected, again, it's a percentage of the selling property, and it can range. I would say that the average over the last 30, 40 years is probably somewhere in the plus 5% range. And look, there's agents who negotiate on that
Yeah,
every which way. And so, it's just, kind of, I would say the average is in your 5 plus or minus range. And
yeah.
it's a completely negotiable process.
That's certainly much more substantial than our marketplace. Um, what's Century 21's biggest challenge at the moment, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think our biggest challenge is making sure that the professionals who are part of the Century 21 organization live and breathe our mission every single day, right? And so, when you have 150,000 plus or minus sales professionals in every nook and cranny around the globe, it's making sure that they're executing on our vision to deliver the extraordinary experience and really truly be that consultant to the home buyer, seller, investor, property letter that they're working with every single day. It is difficult, especially here in the U.S. Like, every one of our real estate professionals is what we call an independent contractor, and so they decide when they want to come to work, what classes they want to take, how they want to go about their business, and obviously, in order to protect the Century 21 name, which, as you know, has been one of the most recognized but also respected brands in the real estate industry for over 24 years, you really have to make sure that you are aligned with the right real estate brokerages, the right real estate owners, the right real estate entrepreneurs, and the right real estate professionals. And to do that, to guard that, to make sure that every single person who holds our business card and represents the Century 21 brand truly lives up to our values in trust, integrity, ethics, and all those things. It's not an easy task. And so that's probably, from a global brands perspective, probably the toughest thing to do is to make sure that we're always operating at the very highest level with the best professionals. Is something for all of us. You as a leader, when you're moving into a new marketplace, Glasgow or wherever the case may be, that you're selecting the right person for a reason, and you've gone through a lot of process and business planning to make sure you select that person. But sometimes it doesn't always work out, and I think for us as leaders, guarding and making sure that we've got the best is one of the most difficult things for us to do.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So you mentioned earlier on the importance of a global network, and how big a part that plays in the day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year running of Century 21 across the world. If you could pick one country where there currently isn't any presence of Century 21, what country would you pick to open up in?
So I'll give you a couple that are on my list. One is close to you. It's Ireland.
Yeah,
The second one is a little bit close to my heart because my father was Polish, but Poland. And
yeah,
another place that we've got to, I think, do a little bit of a better job. And again, there's been coverage there in the past, hasn't been the coverage that we've wanted it to be, and so we just need a new leadership team. Is India. So, outside of those, big marketplaces, it's tough to find a country and or a marketplace that we don't have covered.
Excellent. Watch this space for those ones then. And finally, what does the future look like for Century 21?
Yeah, I think the future is very bright, and I'm super excited by it. I mean, I think, as real estate professionals, and how we're continually evolving as an industry, certainly the way that consumers are wanting more information, more data, and can get that, in the palm of their hand, right? Like right here on their phone, when they're coming through the process. And whether, people are talking about things like artificial intelligence or, different technologies that are helping enable us as consumers, but also our business. I think the future is very bright because as a network, we are investing in the things that will provide a better end experience to the consumer. And when the consumer is happy with the process, when the consumer finds the process to be more effective and more efficient because of the real estate company and because of the real estate professional that they're using, I feel like it will just continue to bring more referral and more loyalty and continued and repeat business to our Century 21 professionals, and we're super excited by that.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing how that vision unfolds over the next few years. So, Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know you're, you said before, exceptionally busy. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you and the rest of our Century 21 colleagues over in America a really happy Christmas, nice bit of family time, and looking forward to what 2024 brings us. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, Andrew, thank you for the time today. To you, Nick, and the entire team there in the UK. Like you said, happy holidays. Let's have a great new year. This is what I remind all of our professionals. You got to keep working through the holidays. I know it's busy. I know we got Christmas shopping. What you do right now in these next 30 days will set up your first quarter next year. So make sure that you keep hammering away out there.
Excellent. I'll quote that and send it out to our network.
Awesome, Andrew. Great seeing you,
Cheers,
buddy.
Mike. Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.